And the Pats had their second and last joint practice with the Vikings yesterday. They are set to take on the Vikings in their second preseason game tomorrow, 1 p.m. kickoff, which is
Very
interesting.
strange.
And we've talked about Steph Diggs and what's going on there. Ramondre Stevenson, it does seem like it is an injury. Mike Vrabel talked about that a little bit. And Devin McCourty said that to us yesterday, that he believed that it was an injury. He didn't look like he got beat up last Friday during the first preseason game, so we were confused why he was sidelined during practices, but not a significant injury, Mike Vrabel said.
Yeah, and another note, so Devin was great. If you missed it, go to the Odyssey app. Devin McCourty joined us yesterday morning, and he told us that Steph Diggs is 100%.
Right.
So if Steph Diggs is 100%, then there isn't a question about week one, which calls more into question the explanation he had for Diana Rossini.
But when you listen to that Diana Rossini, it seems like he's kidding. He seems like he's laughing throughout it. I mean, we can replay it.
Yeah, to me, if it's all in jest and he's clearly playing, then Vrabel says he's clearly playing. Like, it's not like there's going to be. I'm pretty sure the Raiders are preparing for Diggs to play.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a big game of who done it as to who plays. But yes, Jackson, if we have it, let's hear that again.
Yeah,
I've been hearing that you're trying to
too.
perform more than be smart about what to do here.
I heard that too, man. We'll
This
see,
is Scoop
man.
City. I get all the scoops.
Everybody's excited, man. I'm just like taking it day by day.
Yeah.
I feel great. I mean, I'm pushing the needle always. I'm always odding on doing more than less, and we'll see about week one. Like, I don't know how I feel about it. We'll see. Coaches aren't too excited. I'm not too excited. I'm just trying to take it day by day. So we'll see.
Like, he could also, because Steph Diggs has always been the person that says, like, I'm not going to ride the roller coaster. Is he saying I'm not too excited, the coaches aren't too excited, meaning the roller coaster, like, we're not too high, we're not too low? I don't know. Listening to that, I would have jumped to more conclusions based off Vrabel's non-answer to us on Monday than I would that answer to Diana Rossini.
It just feels like Stefon Diggs likes being talked about.
Yes.
And that's essentially what he did. And it just feels like Vrabel doesn't want to talk about it, and Diggs is throwing it out there. I'm not too excited, or the coaches aren't excited. And then it's like, okay, we're not worrying about this. I don't want to talk about this. And to your point of Vrabel not laughing it off the other day, he's annoyed by this already.
Of course.
He's so annoyed by this already. Just like Belichick would have been annoyed or wouldn't allow this to even come out because it is annoying to have to talk about, because we will be talking about Diggs. He wants everyone to talk about him every single day of the entire season. Right. So when he starts playing, it's going to be something else. And that's what this guy does. That's what diva wide receivers do in this league.
Well, Rich has something to say about Vrabel in the media. Rich, good morning.
Hey, good morning. I was actually really excited when Vrabel came on as the head coach. I'm a little disheartened at the way he treats the media sometimes. I've lost a little bit of respect for him. I mean, these beat writers are there doing their job. Vrabel's making more in one game than they're making all year long, and he's got to belittle them and be very cavalier about handling questions from the media, which is part of his job. So I'm not too thrilled about the way he's handling the media right now.
Yeah. I love Vrabel. I'm still glad he's the head coach. I think he's going to be great on Mondays. And Vrabel is also a guy, not that he loves being talked about, but he's pretty blunt. Like, he's just, even when he's like complimenting you, he doesn't allow it to go without a backhanded, slight at the end. It's just the way he is, and he's an incredibly smart guy. Diggs is also really smart, and he knows exactly what he's doing. And there is something. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether Vrabel tried to reel him in and he felt like he was being too stifled, so then he goes on with Diana Rossini and says that. But Vrabel was mad that Phil Perry was asking the question the way he did. Mm-hmm. He is seeking to stop something that Vrabel began. Vrabel began this on Monday. It's the easiest answer. Yeah, we're all super impressed with the way Diggs has handled himself. He's been a total pro since the day he arrived, which is what he said the Monday after the boat. He said he's here, everybody's accounted for, he's working his butt off.
But I also can see Vrabel not wanting to put himself in a situation where he has to walk comments back, like Gerard Mayo. Gerard Mayo was so high on everybody every single time we asked questions about players, and then he ended up having to walk things back because it didn't play out the way he wanted it to. So I do think Mike Vrabel...
But what would he have to walk back on Diggs?
Well, because if Diggs doesn't end up playing week one, if Diggs is a pain in the butt and things don't work out this season the way that they're supposed to, or we're expecting them to. For him to come out, during preseason, like Bill Belichick did with Mac Jones, saying he's made leaps and bounds better than he was this season. Yeah, like he's tempering himself. Mike Vrabel, I think, is a good balance between Belichick and between Gerard Mayo.
But let's just work with that. Let's say week one. Let's say Vrabel says what I wanted him to say, and that he's been great, and that we can't wait to get him on the field. He's doing everything he can. He's been spectacular since he arrived. In week one, he doesn't play against the Raiders. Vrabel can easily say, like, we knew this was going to be a tightrope. He was coming off an injury, and we don't want to jeopardize the rest of the season because we're going to rush him in here.
Yeah, but then we would all say, well, why would they jump to conclusion so early on and say that he's ready for week one if he's not ready for week one?
Because I do think a lot of people, when Schefter first reported that, took that as tongue-in-cheek. Like, not tongue-in-cheek, but like it was agent speak. Like it was a rose-colored glasses way to see through this. I'm just saying that where we are right now is the opposite of where they wanted to be in terms of the conversation around the team between now and September 6th or whatever it is going to all be about Diggs. And he's meeting with Diana Rossini, but he's not playing in games, so he doesn't have to meet the local media. Yeah. Not exactly a good look.
He's talked to the local media, though, since he's been here. Like, he's had media scrums since he's been here.
So then why did Phil Perry say that? That's
like during practice, we've heard from Steph Diggs.
No, I know. It just seemed like an odd thing to say when he was like, he didn't want to play because of the local media.
Well, and we also know the local media gets upset when players go and talk to national media instead of them and give them the scoop on instead of the guys that are there every day. Mike Vrabel does not seem like a guy who's going to be walking back anything or has ever walked anything back in his entire life. So we're not going to get any of that walking back. That's for sure. And it's going to, you said it, Curtis, is that they're both smart guys and they both know how to play this. Right. And they're both, again, Diggs is a veteran all-star Pro Bowl wide receiver who's made all the money in the world, has all the boat trips in the world the rest of his life. He is going to be antagonistic. That's what he does.
Yeah.
That's why that's why Josh Allen got rid of him.
Right.
That's why Texas didn't re-sign him. You've already said this. This is going to be a thing. And Vrabel is not going to back down. And Vrabel's going to give it back to him. And it's going to be a story. It's going to be fun. And as you said, if he's good on the field, then it's going to be great. If he isn't, then we're going to get some of this tension that seems to be there already.
Yeah, and I think quickly, Courtney, at the end, the reason this marriage I think will work for a year is that they need each other.
Mm-hmm.
Steph Diggs, I know it said a 3-year deal. It's a 1-year deal. And so if Diggs performs and Drake May is elevated because of the presence of Diggs, then at the conclusion of the season, either here or I hope elsewhere, Diggs will get one last big deal. And Vrabel knows that he needs the talent of Diggs. Looking around the other receivers on this roster, I mean, it's awful with the exception of Diggs. So they got together for this in a mutually beneficial short-term relationship that I think could yield benefits with each not using the other down the line.
And I think that's why Vrabel's, again, I'm like 38,000 feet on this one. I'm so far, but just watching and why he's such a good hire, Mike Vrabel, is because he has the old school in him that creates culture and creates a locker room and brings back the quote unquote Patriot way, which is funny to look back on now that we just had a caller complain about how the media was being treated, which was the complete Patriot way, of course, 6 years ago when they were winning trophies. But he's good at understanding new school that he does need a Diggs. Where maybe 2 coaches ago, he just wouldn't deal with it. He just, no chance, I'm not dealing with it. Vrabel knows he needs to deal with it. We'll deal with it in his way, and it will be condescending at times, and he'll be smarter than everybody else in how he deals with it, but he does know that he needs them.
Yeah. Well, I want to hear from Randy in Providence, who has something to say about Diggs' comments. Good morning, Randy.
Hi, good morning, guys. First, let me just lead by saying it's been a great week watching you guys on here. I assume the other guys are back next week. But you guys have had a great week on the radio in the morning.
Thank you.
It's really enjoyable listening to you guys. I did want to say on the Diggs comments, you guys keep playing back the too excited thing, right? Like he's not too excited, the coaches aren't too excited. But I feel like there's no context. Diana Rossini asked him directly beforehand. She said something to the effect of, I heard you're overworking yourself. I heard you're working too hard to get back, and you're not being conservative enough. You're not holding it back enough. And his answer to that was, no, I'm not getting too excited. The coaches aren't getting too excited. We're just kind of playing it by ear, essentially. And so I just feel like the context is important in that.
Yeah, no, context is always important. Randy makes a good point. Like the question was about him pushing himself too hard. And so he could be commenting on that as well. It's more, I think, people jumping to what's going on here because of the way Mike Vrabel responded to Phil Perry.
Yeah, I think in both cases it could have been less of a story, but I don't think we're not going to see Diggs at all tomorrow, and definitely not going to see him in the last preseason game. And so it'll be, between now and week 1, will he or won't he against the I wonder who's going to light the lighthouse week 1 against the Raiders. We should get Wiggy there.
I agree. Wiggy should be brought. I mean, I don't understand. Wiggy doesn't get the credit he deserves.
He does not.